Think windshield and towing claims don't count against your insurance? Think again. Grab your cup of Joe, because this week we're talking about it on Coffee Conversations. So today's episode actually came from a completely random but fun situation I had last week. I talked with a new client who found me on Instagram. Let's call him Jay. Hey, Jay, I know you're watching. We spent most of the week going back and forth, comparing his current coverage, looking at ways that we could actually increase coverage and lower his cost. And we were this close to doing it until we looked over his claims. He had multiple small claims for towing and windshield, which he didn't think affected anything because they were a few $100s here and there. Unfortunately, those types of claims do affect your insurance. They can remove your claims free discounts, they can count towards your claim total, and in some cases, like Jay, they actually make you ineligible. When I called him last week to talk through his claims and let him know that he was ineligible, he immediately laughed and said, "Are you going to make this one of your videos?" And I said, "Of course," because honestly, this is something that comes up very often. I actually had the same conversation with someone on Saturday. They had no idea that their windshield claim actually counted against them. And so this is something that you should really think about in the future. Towing and windshield claims on your auto policy are still claims. They're small, but they are still something that the insurance company looks at. They want to look at patterns or frequency. How often is it happening? So even if you've never had a major accident, they're still looking at that and taking that into account with your eligibility. Different carriers have different rules of what types of claims and how many they will allow. But in Jay's case, I checked multiple carriers and he was ineligible. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't file a claim, but I am saying that you'll want to talk with your agent about what the claim is and if you should really file that claim if it's small enough and what the impact would be, and then make that educated decision. In many cases, if it's a small out of pocket expense, you may just want to pay that instead of going forward with your insurance, depending again on your conversation and how that may impact your insurance moving forward. And when you talk to your agent, you'll want to ask them, how will this claim affect my renewal? Will filing this claim impact my ability to move to another company? Will the cost of the claim be close enough to my deductible that I may be better off just paying out of pocket? There's no one size fits all option. The goal is to be educated and be able to make that educated decision instead of being in Jay's case, where you're completely caught off guard and now stuck in the insurance policy you have versus going to something that actually could save you money. So, Jay, thank you so much for your patience and your humor, allowing me to share this. Again, you're not alone. This is something I encounter all the time. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who it could help. Make sure to subscribe or comment below, review, and I'll take a look. Again, I'm licensed in New York. You can go to bestagencyny.com to get started. And we'll see you next week on another coffee conversation.